Hello everybody. It's once again it's Pepper Wolverine over here in Willowbrook, Illinois. Today we're brought together with something called Swamp Thing. I don't know anything about Swamp Thing other than what it looks like and the source from where it came from. Mr. Justin White over at White Hat Peppers hooked me up with a couple of Swamp Thing pods. I tell you, they look like these couple of pods that I have look like almost kind of like strange habaneros with a dark green mustard. I'm sorry, dark olive green color, slightly turning in to mustard. A couple of them are a little bit more mustard than others, and whoa, I just saw that. If I rotate it that way, I mean that looks like some gnarly, nasty face from like some Star Wars, Cyborg, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, something, I don't know. I mean, that's just gnarly. Sorry, geeked out there for a second. Lost track. Some pretty big pods. I mean, that's interestingly pushed in. Nice, camera's not showing it that well. Back it up a little bit. Olive green to mustard tones in the colorations. So this is Swamp Thing. He sent me some in a box that that I received, I don't know, about a month ago or so, and I made the mistake of pushing it to the backside, real back of the refrigerator, and didn't realize it, and these and some other pods that I was going to try froze. So I have a second chance now. So this is something called a Swamp Thing, and did a little bit of looking around and I couldn't find much information on it at all. I like that really wrinkled shape on it, so I'm going to hold on to that one for seeds. So I have these two to choose from. They're both about equal pods, slightly different in size. This one's obviously probably a little bit more mass to the hand scale. Actually, it might be, they're about the same. Actually, this one's the one that is slightly smaller, is a little bit heavier, maybe because of the shape of this one. So this is something called Swamp Thing that I acquired from Mr. Justin White, White Hot Peppers. Currently a fellow Illinoisan. He lives about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes south of here, where I live at least. Interesting. I don't have a whole lot of experience with green pods, and this one, the Swamp Thing's kind of a green pod. The juices that I licked off the knife seem to have some heat to them. Interesting. I don't smell anything other than what I would typically associate with a green pod, meaning not necessarily ready, but these are ready for sure. Interesting. Lack of experience does not allow me to share what the nose is experiencing. There is a little bit of glistening inside there on the walls of the pepper. You can see the little bit of placental tissue. It's interesting, there's a couple color shades on there. It's mostly white, but there's some oranges, mustard colors, sorry, I should say, going through the placenta. Same on the other half. Interesting. So, a couple of people questioned why pepper Wolverine. And I said, you know, it wasn't a name I chose for myself. It was a name that people suggested. And why did they suggest it? Because every once in a while, I'd just take a pod like this. And this is a decent sized pod. It's probably around a 12 to 14 gram pod. I mean, it's not a small pod by any stretch of the imagination. But I would take pods like this, a little bit smaller, and Wolverine them. So what's Wolverine it? It's taking this and doing that. And just downing the whole pod and Wolverine it. So, some friends in a community that I'm intimately involved in and consider it my pepper home. Sorry about that. Told me that I eat peppers like an animal sometimes. That evolved into Wolverine. So I took on the persona of pepper Wolverine. That was a lot of pepper. That's a mouthful. It reminds me a little bit of a 7-pot evergreen without the 7-pot floralness. Nice straightforward flavor. Not bitter, not floral. Straightforward pepper. Heat. It's building and kicking in relatively quick. Excuse me, sorry, I'm cleaning out some of the residuals off the teeth. Actually, I'll redact that statement. I don't think there's any 7-pot in this thing, whatever it is. Swamp Thing. It's got a nice building heat to it, reminiscent of habanero juiciness, flavor, and fruitiness. So it's got some fruity flavor in it, but definitely a kick above habanero. Excuse me. Swamp Thing. Don't know how stable it is, don't know how long or far on in the stabilization process it is. First time I've tried it, haven't grown it. The color of the pods are really cool. They're between an olive green and a mustard. It's got a very enjoyable flavor to it. It's almost like a super high-end habanero with, but like a kick above it. So, Fatale level, getting close to Ghost level, or really low-end Scorpion, but having trouble placing what might be in this mix based upon the flavor. Nice flavor. Heat's respectable. It's not super hot, in my opinion. It's in the mouth. It's grabbed the tongue, worked its way around the insides of the cheeks of my mouth. Not going to my ears. Not making me salivate much yet. Not cleaning out the sinus passage, so the nasal passage. So it's hot, but not a super hot. Very enjoyable flavor. digging the flavor, but it's kind of hard to put my finger on as well. It's like a contrasting flavor, like slightly fruity, almost it's fruity and tart at the same time. I'm not doing a very good job of describing this pepper flavor. A good amount of heat. Like I said, not a super hot, but a very respectable heat nonetheless. Not really going anywhere further than how I already described it on the heat level. Some tingling sensations around the tongue. A little bit on the back of the tongue, trying to go to the esophagus, not much. No ear alarm fires, no sweating, no opening up of the nasal passage. Good heat, good and respectable. Most people will reference a ghost and or a lower end scorpion as a level for entering really hot peppers, borderline low end super hot. So I'd put these a little bit under those, or maybe on par. I really enjoy them because there wasn't any bitterness or floraliness to them. That's why it reminds me of slightly of a scorpion and or a fatale, but I mean these shapes are completely different. So my lack of knowledge is not allowing me to deduce what might be in the heritage. Maybe somebody that watches this video can enlighten me. I did a quick Google search for Swamp Thing, and everything pointed me back to white hot peppers. Looked in a couple other places as well, and I couldn't find any information on it other than some BS information on eBay, Etsy, and places I don't trust. Very nice pepper, enjoyable. I'm gonna pull some seeds out of the angry old man's face and maybe add this one in. It's probably worth growing out, especially if they're gonna look like that. I mean, I saw some of the ones that Justin had on his white hot peppers page with some stingers on them and some tails, which would be kind of cool. But I mean, this is a pretty cool pheno here as well, at least in my opinion. I like the wrinkled face. You know, look at that. Look at that direction. Give him a 180. Look at that direction. Look at him straight on. We had to think it's just got like a gnarly, evil face on it. This one's kind of a nonchalant. No great features about it, except for the fact that it's heavy. Yeah, I'm gonna pull some seeds out of this one. See what we can do with the Swamp Thing. So heat's plateaued. It's already kicking down a notch. I thought it was going to be a little bit hotter. Don't get me wrong, it's still hot. It's a hot pepper. Somewhere around the ghost level, scorpion level, lower end scorpion level. Attacks the tongue in a similar fashion to a fatale, but it's neither of those, and it doesn't have those flavors. It's got a pretty unique flavor that's making me feel inexperienced in trying to give some of you guys that might watch this a good feel for what it really tastes like. But it's a straight pepper flavor, meaning when I say that, I mean it's not bitter, it's not floral. You get some sweetness, really juicy, medium thin-walled, crunchy pepper. That had a slight tart flavor to it, along with the sweetness. I like like it. It's a pretty darn good pepper. I'm amazed at after eating so many peppers, I still get to eat new peppers I've never had before, like Swamp Thing. So hey, Justin, thanks for sharing this with me. There's a couple others in the box I received that probably do something with maybe this weekend. We'll see what happens with those. So it's a great early autumn evening with the Swamp Thing from Justin White of White Hot Peppers. Thank you for tuning in, if you did tune in, and if not, well, you should. We'll do it again very soon. Thank you very much. Bye.